So the next question is mine. It says Chan mentioned that his family was very traditional and strict. Malia's family seems to be more relaxed and playful with each other. How do you think Malia will fit in with Chan's family? I'll let y'all go first.
I think mm, now we're talking about like his people, or like when Malia and Chan get together and make their own family. Like I think that's going to be a cute little dynamic. But
His family, his parents' family, that type of thing.
yeah, I don't think they're going to accept her. Like she may know how to act, but there's the whole race thing, and they may feel that she's not, good enough. You
Good
know,
enough.
she, even though I'm sure she knows how to present herself, and she is educated. She gonna go in there like the church girl, sexy red, um, talking about her booty hole.
Hellcat, SRT,
Right,
come
like
pull up on me. Okay,
right.
that's
She
my
gonna pull up
song.
on that energy. So, yeah, I'm not sure, especially since he said he couldn't even like laugh and joke with his own family, like just them. So there's going to be this very strict, who is this, blah, blah, blah. And they're an organization and they don't know how much she knows. Like, I just think there's going to be some conflict there. Like, hey, she's an outsider. Keep her out of our stuff. This is us, blah, blah, blah. This is what we want you to marry. This is where, the direction we want you to go. And he's the dutiful son. So he's going to, he's going to have to step away actually from his family, to pursue and continue whatever with Malia. But I think with him, because he found it amusing, he thought it was beautiful. He's like, wow, this is, I can't even play with my family. And, we could all sit at the
Hmm.
table, crack jokes, smile. I control dad, hit on moms a little bit, talk to my girl. Like, we good, and he liked it.
Right. I could be myself.
I think when they get, later on or whatever, if they get together and they have their little family or whatever, it's going to be a cute little thing. But I think as far as her being accepted by his people, it's going to be a clash there. Definitely see a clash there.
I agree. And as far as her fitting in, like Alicia said, she's a businesswoman. She knows how to act and present herself in different environments. So, she'll go and be reserved, to preserve the traditional, respect of the family. But I honestly don't see her meeting Chan's family, or at least his dad anyway, anytime soon. It'll definitely have to be something forced. Chan might have to string up his daddy. No, I'm just kidding. But
Your
yeah,
Enough
too,
daddies.
not just mine.
yeah,
Not just my dad. Those
and
daddies too.
and like Elysia said, the family is going to want Chan to follow along those lines of, being with a certain type of woman that looks a certain way. And, so the family might even decide to interfere, because we do see that in history of the family trying to, uh, bring another person in, or getting rid of Malia. Maybe, you never know, like get her out of the picture. So
Never know.
yeah, as far as her fitting in, I think she would fit in fine, but like Alicia said, I agree that they would not accept her because that's not what they do.
I agree with both of you guys. I think Malia does know how to conduct herself. She comes from a really good family, and their society is big on manners and presenting yourself in the best possible light. But this is a different group of individuals. These are members who are of the triad, but not only that, so they are very like organized crime, very secret type of society type of thing, but also the racial component. I think it does play a big part. Some very traditional families want to keep their families traditional, and I get it. Like some people are just like, we want to keep certain things in our bloodline. We want to keep our certain traditions. And when you bring people in from other cultures and you mix families, well, now we have a blending of your culture and my culture. It's not just like our culture. It's two cultures coming together and trying to like mix and blend. And I guess, there's give and take in different areas. And so I definitely don't feel like Malia is going to walk in with open arms to her. I don't think that it will be a situation where they're like, oh, she's beautiful. Good job, son. I think because of the lifestyle that they live, it will be more of a situation where it's like she's an outsider for a number of reasons. And at this level, Mr. Khan has people already lined up for his son. Other businessmen who come from very wealthy families as well are like, hey, that would be a great pairing, of these families. So I'm like, if these affluent Black people in Rose City know how to pair people up, you don't think that these people who are making millions upon billions of dollars are doing the same things with their family? People at a certain level try to keep their bloodline at a certain level. They like to marry old money. They like to marry people who match their status. So definitely, I think they would be looking down like, okay, her family might be okay, like comfortable for like regular people, but we're not regular. We crazy rich Asian, right? We got money, money. So when you on that level, it's just like, uh, no, mm-mm. No, I don't think there's going to be this welcoming acceptance train of Malia. And I think, like Kyrie said, it's going to be something where it won't be a right away, like introduction. But Mr. Kong will find out. And when he does, all hell will break loose. Some fireworks going to go off, baby. You got to stay tuned because it's going to be interesting when the dad gets involved.
I don't know what turns on inside of you when you like, all hell's gonna break loose. I'm like, yes, like it
I
just get
just get the
ready.
idea. I'm like, baby, it's the drama, it's the juice, it's the tea. Yes, I feel it. Like because I want to give so much more, but I can't, because we're going chapter by chapter here. But baby, when I start to think about some of that hell that's gonna get raised, some of that drama, some
Like,
of the fights that about to break out, I'm just like, ooh, I can't wait for them to fight. I want them to know.
like,
I got to touch myself a little bit, but
you
not nothing in any appropriate way. Praise God.
you know it's gonna be good when you hit that move. It was like, oh, okay. Tune in. It's
I'm
gonna
a
be
whole dancer, baby. You just don't know nothing about that, praise God.
that's funny. Our next question: do you think Chan is envious of Frank's family? Envious? No, I don't think Chan has an envious bone in his body. He gets what he wants. That's his family now, actually. So, you know,
Why would he be envious of his own family? That's his.
That's his family now.
right. I think the only maybe you could get that from the way he was looking at them being playful at the table, and he's like, "Oh, that would have been nice if we could do that," but
Hmm.
I don't think that was an envious feeling he was having. So,
Mm-mm. I agree. Yeah, he wouldn't have a reason to be envious. If anything, it's him that's got to help Frank's family and Frank. So, or don't have to. I don't want to say that, but no, he ain't jealous of. He actually finds Frank pretty entertaining. I think at this point. um, yeah.
Yeah, I
Chan seems
agree. I
to like
think,
to watch people squirm. That's his like little
mhm,
thing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he definitely does. I think Chan looks at this family and he's like, it would have been nice to grow up in a household where I could have went to my mom and my dad. I could have, gotten advice, that no matter like what I was going through, they were there for me. I think he looks at it like, I wish I would have grown up in a little bit like more of a loving way. I don't know if it's envy, but I definitely feel like he admires them on some level because he did make note like how they play and how they seem to be close and affectionate and they laugh and they joke together. I think he comes from a very sterile background where it's like the nannies raised you. When you get to be so rich, rich people don't have time for their kids. They're like, "Psh, I'm just set. I'm going somewhere else. I'm jet setting to Milan and then off to Paris and then off to this and we're gonna be in the Maldives. I'm going places. Like I ain't got time for these kids. So a lot of times they're very kind of like disconnected where their kids go to boarding school. They have nannies who raise them and do all of that type of stuff with them. And so they tend to be very close with their health, but not so much to their parents. And so to see like, wow, she's close to her mom, she's close to her dad. And then, I think even like the component, like at some point during the dinner, Sandy went over, she gave Malia a kiss on the cheek. I think she said something in her ear too, but it was like he hasn't had that experience with his own mother, She passed away when he was a little boy. So I'm sure it's just like, wow, like this is a really dope dynamic, to have a family who they get on each other's nerves, but they communicate. They talk, like they're affectionate with each other. Like they can be themselves and it's not like, I don't like that. That's improper. No, like you can be yourself. You can, just be you. So I think that was the feeling there.
Okay. Um, so the next one is mine. It says, was Malia throwing shade when she told Chan she was a lady and would never ask a man for his number? Or do you think she was challenging Chan to step up or step off? Definitely the latter. I don't think she was like throwing no shade. She may have been throwing a little bit of shade, but it was like, especially the way she looked at him and said it. Well, I did meet this guy at this party. He knew he was talking about. Um, he knew she was talking about him, and so.
Definitely.
Ooh, and the way his comeback for her was real smooth. I was like, wait a minute, I had to read that twice. I was like, Chan came through with it. Come on, brother Chan. But
But the
yes, she
chin,
was just
yeah.
basically like, yo, this has been going on for a little while. We got this little thing back and forth, but ain't no numbers being exchanged, no nothing. Like, yo, I need to know how you feel about me. Like, or should I
Right.
just keep it moving? Or do you got something going on? I'm not trying to be the side thing either. So,
Not at all.
yeah, I definitely think she was like that was her way of kind of asking for a number, even though she said she never would. It was just like, yo, like we gonna do this or what? Like where we going with this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely, she was challenging him to step up.
Yeah, I don't think Malia was throwing shade. I think she was dropping a big hint, like, what's up? You know? So yeah, that's how I feel about that situation. Definitely it was a challenge. What you gonna do? It was like a call out
Yeah.
without a call out,
Oh
like
yeah.
so
Hmm.
a little nice
Oh
little
yeah.
low call out. So I'm glad she did it like that. Kept it cute, kept it classy. It was like,
Yeah.
Right.
I
That's
don't
what
do
I'm
this.
Baby.
saying.
So if
Baby.
you're waiting for me to beg, it's
Baby.
not happening. So you're gonna
Come
miss
on.
out, or you're gonna ask me the number because I'm not asking. So
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was
You want
saying.
to go
That
to
was
jail
her
or you
way
want to
of
go home? Which
asking
one we
without
doing?
asking.
right,
Yeah.
right. I like the way she did it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I was with her for the call out, baby, because what we're not gonna do, and I mean we're not gonna do this, okay? You're not gonna
Call out.
waste my time. You're not gonna waste my time. I had a situation, even when I was like a teenager, there was this boy I had been talking to for a long time, and he was like, throwing all these, oh, you're such a dope chick. Like, if you was my girl. And so one day I was like, what's stopping it though? And he was like, what? And I was like, you always make these like subtle, mentions if I was yours, and and you everything, man. It's like, so what's the problem? And I think he liked my cousin, but I think that was the problem. I think basically he was trying to have us both. Like it was a whole little situation, but it didn't work. But
Me or
yeah.
somebody else?
No, you. Me and Lisa always had these problems when we grew up.
Why
We
you
look so
sound
much
like
alike, but I guess
that?
we look different.
Hell you. Sorry. But did you hear that? Did you hear that, Kyrie? That's exactly how she said
She
it.
was a teenager all over again in that split moment.
Right. I
She
was
felt
like,
every type of way.
the way that came out, I was like,
I'm like,
baby,
no, you.
baby.
Hey, you. I'm talking about you.
No, now
But
that's
yeah,
normal. But when that first came out, girl, you like, now,
She had a
yeah.
flashback.
I was like, me? No. Girl, yeah, it's okay.
what you like that?
It's
It's like,
been,
no, I was thinking like, how dare she be like, was it me? Like, Who else was
No,
I kicking it with really hard? It was like me, you, and Kim lived all the way in Burien. So it
okay,
was just you.
Kim
I was
wasn't around. So, and the rest of them, see, like, the rest, like Melissa, Desiree, and all that, they were your nieces. So they
like,
weren't your
yeah,
cousins.
they were
So
older than me, but
I had to,
yeah, they're
they
not my
were older
cousins. So I
than
was
us. Isn't that
like,
crazy?
you're like, yeah.
That was like, damn.
Yeah. And
But
so,
yeah, the other ones were, they're family members, but they were nieces
yeah.
and not
Yeah, they
cousins.
were nieces.
My
Yeah. My nieces are older than me. Some of them are older than me by, 10 or more years. So anyway, that's what happens when your dad is having babies and your brother is 30 and he's having kids too. Like, what in the heck?
You're like,
All at
what?
the same time, they both having kids.
Mm.
Yeah. Papa was a Rolling Stone. So no, I asked this guy, I was like, so what's up? You keep saying this. And he was like, actually, I like somebody. I was like, well, who is it? And he was like, it's your cousin Alicia. And I want to know if you want to help me. Like,
No, that happened to me. That happened to me. I don't know how many. The guys that we liked
it
growing
always
up
happens.
always liked the other one. Like guys that Karina liked me. Guys that I
Yep.
liked Karina. And they weren't
It
shy
was the
about letting us
craziest
know
thing.
that either. They were like, no,
Never shy
your
about
cousin is so bomb. Like, man, I mean, if you had her body, man, I mean, you'd be bomb. Who says that? Excuse me, sir?
it. Yeah, who says that? I was just told, you're attractive, but Alicia, I mean, her face, like, I mean, she is so beautiful. I mean, you're attractive too, but your cousin. The crazy part is, what I think is hot, Alicia's like, that's not my type. But the ones that I like always like my cousin. Oh, she's the finest thing ever. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the guys, she's like, oh, Karina, he's fine, fine. And I'm like, well, no, like he's not my type. And he's like, is that your cousin, Karina? How is this? I feel like the devil was really trying to set us up on some mess. He was
Karina
like,
would
I'm
be
gonna have
like,
y'all fight. No, you're not.
he got pretty hair. I'm like, hair? Girl, he's fine. I mean,
We
he
have just never been attracted to the same guys, which was a
right.
blessing because we never fought over anybody growing up. It was never like, no, because I liked him first. It was never that. But yeah, I had to call him out and asked him, and he let me know, baby, that it was Alicia who was on his mind. And I was like, oh, okay. His phone call's about to stop. But it was like sometimes you have to ask the question. You have to step up to the plate. You have to be like, so what is this? And you can do it in a classy way, but sometimes the question needs to be asked because if you don't ask the question, people can play games with you. They can have you just. And I think what it was that Alicia was like number one and I was number two. So if Alicia didn't want him, then it was like, okay, then I'm gonna come back and see if Karina want to talk to me. That's kind of how he was gonna play. But when I called him out, I was like, and then he like, then you guys dated, and I remember, baby, this is all off topic. I'm not gonna say his name because he might be watching. However, we went to his house. He lived on the hilltop. Remember? He lived on the hilltop. You know what I'm talking about? And girl, we saw him. We were like, he looked
Did
like a
he live
fly.
on
Remember? We
Ainsworth?
were like,
Did he live
what
on
happened?
Ainsworth? Did Cohen take
He
us
lived
up
on
there?
Ainsworth, baby.
Oh, that
And he looked like a fly.
dusty motherfucker. Oh, sorry.
Girl, we were like,
I didn't know. You should have told me that you were feeling him. See, we had a question
no, no,
about
no.
this.
See,
You
okay,
was
okay.
coming back about folks
No, no, no.
finishing up.
Let's back this up. Let's back this up because this was during the time. This was before Facebook, MySpace, Twitter,
Right.
Instagram. No, no, no. So it was always this craziness where friends would be talking on three way, and you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna talk to this person, doing all this on the phone conversation because somebody's voice sounds good, and then you meet people in person, you're like,
You're like,
we was looking crazy. We was like,
girl, that happened.
I felt much better after I saw his face. I was like, Alicia, that's your man. And you was like, oh, no, no. And I was like, girl, that's your man, though. But, I mean, do you guys remember that? Like, that was a thing in the
It
90s,
was
like,
dusty,
and
but
before.
yeah, and that was the thing. And I didn't know because my mom had pulled me out of school. You were homeschooled, and so we were talking like through Jackie's friends or so and so's friends
Somebody's friends.
or Cohen's homeboy something. It's like I don't because we weren't calling no party lines and finding these dudes. So
No, we was
somehow
always on clear other friends.
somebody, and we would be on three way, and it's like okay, well, okay,
That
if
person was
Karina's with
cool.
so and so, oh well, my homeboy is here. So do you got any homegirls? It's like well, my
Yeah.
cousin's
And we
here,
would
and
all call each other. We would have a
we
big
gonna
old
make up.
call going on.
Yeah, like okay, well, we gonna meet up here, and then everybody's upset with everybody, like.
Baby, when you started seeing people, and this was the thing, I never talked myself up. I was never like, no, because I look like, You just gotta meet me because you may like me, you may not like me. I don't know. Like, right? So I was never like, no, because I am caramel delight. I was never on that. I was just like I just never said anything. I was not no mocha
Caramel light,
frappuccino,
girl.
caramel macchiato. I was just like, see me and then whatever you think is what you think. But like I'm not gonna talk myself up because then because the people who talk themselves up were the people who are always busted.
Who were busted. Yeah.
I was like, how the heck did you tell me you was fine like Allen Iverson, and then I'm meeting you and you don't look like Allen Iverson, sir? You lied. Okay,
Right. Like just because you got the braids don't mean you look like them. Like
and you wear a little head sweatband and a
a
jersey.
little
You're not
sweatband
Allen
on with the
Iverson.
braids. And I'm like, no, that's not it, baby. Mm-mm.
Kyrie was like, honey, I was a good church girl. I didn't know nothing about that. You see, she's quiet over there in that corner.
Come on, mother. Come through, mother.
Come
What'd you
on,
do
mother,
for
what you
fun?
got for it, baby? You got some tea for
Baby.
your girls? Come on, baby. Got some tea for us?
No, no tea. I'm just enjoying listening to you guys.
No, I'm like, yeah,
She's all, no, no tea. I'm just listening. Girl, what'd you do for fun?
baby. Those
I guess this is a conversation for another day or something, but girl,
girl, them
the
calls used to be
church,
lit though.
who?
Them calls, we would have like 10 kids on the phone. And then people like, so before I get off the phone, Licia, what's your phone number? I continue this conversation. So you start liking people over the phone based on personality and their voice sounded cute. And baby,
And yeah.
you literally never had that happen, Kyrie, in the 90s. You
I
never
mean,
had that happen. You listen to somebody's voice.
no, I mean, I really
What?
wasn't like I really wasn't into that kind of stuff. So it was like I wasn't attracted to people like that, So it's like fun, having fun conversations, talking about homework and other stuff, and you know.
Sorry, I'm muting myself. I'm muting
But,
myself.
I mean, maybe I did once, but it didn't ever went anywhere because it wasn't like, oh, you sound cute.
Baby.
I want to go. Like I just wasn't interested in that. It was just like, okay, that's weird.
Okay,
Maybe,
apparently we was boy crazy.
maybe I
We
don't
was
know.
boy crazy and couldn't leave the house. Like how does that work though? Like y'all, we were we
Us,
loved us some boys and couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't go nowhere,
we
couldn't meet
right,
nobody,
right.
couldn't go
Let's
to the
let's
to the
not
corner
put it
store.
out there. We weren't like out hoeing around because our parents shut that shit
No, we
down.
couldn't go nowhere. So
But
we
in our
talked on the phone,
minds,
but that was really the extent of that. Like we couldn't,
that was
and we had to lie about no, because I'm on the phone with Alicia, and I'm talking to
girl.
Jackie.
I did
We always had to lie about who was on the phone with.
because you remember there
Hmm?
was multiple phones on one line, so your parents could pick up and hear who you actually talking to.
Girl,
Girl, my
baby,
mom lived for that mess. She used to catch me
baby,
and Karina all the time. I was like,
baby.
girl, we gotta go to your house and talk on the phone because my mom's gonna catch us
Girl, I was on
and
the
get
phone talking to a boy one time, and thank God the conversation was clean because my dad was like, "Well, you seem like a nice young man, and because I might know your family." I was looking
on the
on.
phone.
What? He picked up the phone. He's like, "I've been listening for the last 10 minutes, and I like the fact that you seem like a nice kid. Who's your mother and father? I know them."
Oh my gosh,
It's a really good
yes.
way for people not to ever want to call you back again. Yeah, they would pick up that call so gently and listen.
Hmm.
Hey,
And my mom, she'd be like,
girl.
okay. So this don't sound like Karina. And girl, I remember one time me and Karina, I don't know if you remember Karina, we were both like talking to some dude. We were talking to some dude. And I think we both had lot. My mom came in the room. She came into the living room. And we lied and said we were talking to like Jackie or Rhea or something like that. And she actually took the phone receiver out of my hand, said hello. And I guess whoever it was said
Yeah, I
hello.
remember that.
And my mom
But
bust me
you
in the head
told
with
him.
the receiver and told Karina to go home. Girl, oh my God. She always
But
would
you
send
had
Karina
told
home when it
him.
was time for me to get whooped.
You
But
said if my mom gets on the phone, just hang up
don't
or don't
say
say nothing.
nothing. Just hang up. Nope.
All right, I am.
Right. And my mom, all she had to hear was his voice. It wasn't like there wasn't no conversation.
These
She
are
hit me
grown
in
men.
the
We're
head
talking
with
to
the
kids our
receiver.
age, but they was just like, no, they
Right.
didn't want no kind of contact with us and males.
Mm-mm. And yeah, but that didn't stop us, did it?
We were always on the phone talking to somebody, but we never like It was even my brother who took us over to this boy's house, and we stood outside in the street because it was down the street from the funeral home. Like that was the only reason why we were like, oh, on Ainsworth,
Like,
that's down
oh,
the street from the
Angela,
funeral home.
that's
That's
over
his
there.
mob.
Right.
So we
Mm.
went over there because Corwin was just, he was like, he probably doesn't look very good. And I'm like, why? He's like, why would he be on the phone with you broads? So we were like, so we had to test his gangster. We're like, you don't know what you're talking about. He's probably really cute. He's a nice guy. And girl, we saw him. Corwin laughed at us. He was like, I told you he was going to look like a frog. And he did.
Mm. Worse.